even though I was talking nicely about Marshall Newhouse, I'm surprised because he was just talking about how the Giants are infamous for having bad offensive lines. He was literally just talking about that. Brother, you were one of the reasons why the Giants had a terrible offensive line. The Giants tried to fill in that right tackle spot, which we finally got an answer for with Jermaine Illuminor, with you, and you were terrible. And then we went to Mike Remmers, and he was even worse. Him and Eric Flowers were the nastiest combo of all time. All right, let's watch this, guys. This is Chris Long on his podcast. This video just got released today, talking about the Giants. This is what kind of got me to want to make a video like this, because I've been seeing a lot of videos on the Giants defense. And I'm interested in I really don't watch media like that unless I'm reacting to it. So
this is the reason I really want to watch this team play. They might have the best NASCAR package in football. NASCAR package is when you put your 4 best rushers on the field.
Yo, why does my boy look like zooted? My boy looks like his eyes are low.
Because a lot of people say NASCAR is just defensive ends. Okay. Dexter Lawrence is one of those guys. So that NASCAR package looks like Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Burns, and Lawrence. Okay. By the way, Dexter Lawrence, per Pro Football Focus, 96 pressures at 0 no's, compared to the second highest player over the last 3 years with 20.
I got to see who that is with 20, but that's completely true. And that's why Dexter Lawrence is so overlooked, because he's a nose tackle. Nobody really knows how. Everybody knows he's a household name now. Everybody knows who Dexter Lawrence is, just like very similar with like Chris Jones, even Aaron Donald. Like Dexter Lawrence is amongst those names now. But nobody really knows how good this guy is, because he's not Aaron Donald. He's not Chris Jones. Chris Jones and Aaron Donald's not even 300 pounds. Chris Jones is like, what, 305, 315, maybe? We're talking about Dexter Lawrence, who can do just as much as they can at 342 pounds. Okay, he may even be more than that now, because he looked bigger, you know? Like, Dexter Lawrence is doing all of this lined up as an NT. This is why I say Dexter Lawrence has been in the league now for what, 6 years, 7 years? He's got to be trending to one of the best nose tackle, if not the best nose tackle in NFL history. Forget about in the NFL, because he's already the best nose tackle in the NFL. We're talking about the best nose tackle in NFL history. Okay? Dexter Lawrence. And this is what makes the defense so good, is having a guy like Dexter Lawrence. He's already a plus multiplier.
Bro, he is a one-man wrecking crew. You should hear people talk about him that have had to play him. You should hear Jason Kelsey talk about Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence makes Pro Bowl players look drunk out there. Powerless.
Finally, somebody's talking about Dexter Lawrence.
He makes them look. I mean, he had like Cam Jurgens and a baby Bjorn last year at one point. Like, it's crazy, dude. Like, sometimes it just looks like he's moving furniture out there, dude.
Yeah.
So just realize, starting with him, it is hell when you're preparing. And also a St. Louis Memorial Award to whoever has to play center in camp.
JMS.
Opposite him.
JMS.
Right? Is it John Michael Schmitz?
Yes.
Yep. JMS.
JMS. What an unfortunate name. Sounds like a guy on a Candyland board or something. Like, it just doesn't sound like a freaking football player.
JMS.
But that poor bastard.
Yeah.
Every fucking August morning, his alarm clock goes off. I know this is a preview, but this is the first guy. This is the first guy that I'm spending like 5 minutes just riffing on. Every morning when JMS's alarm clock goes off, you know how we check our phones and like you might check Twitter if you're like that, or you might like check your text messages. And you might be thinking,
if Dexter Lawrence is coming into practice.
he's thinking about Dexter Lawrence, bro. And sometimes I'm sure if it's a morning practice, like the alarm clock goes off and he's like, God, I got 2 hours until I'm getting moved around like furniture, bro. You got to realize, like, in training camp, you want to look good on tape.
Tell me if this is true, guys. Tell me if this is true. Was Dexter Lawrence even like at practice? Like he's working? Because I heard he had a lot of days off. So I think JMS was able to get a breather in. Like I mean, of course, I wouldn't expect Chris Long to know everything that's going on in Giants training camp, but I'm pretty sure Dexter Lawrence has taken so many days off, not because he's hurt, not because of anything that is going on, like holdouts. He's literally just that good. It's just not fair to have him going against these guys. He just dominates every play. That's why we're constantly seeing other defensive tackles out there in his spot. Nacho, Roy Robertson Harris, Darius Alexander got a whole day with the ones because Dexter Lawrence is so good. You can't, but it's not fair to put him out there in practice. What more do you have to see from this guy besides trying to, sharpen iron with iron? That's probably the only time you would want Dexter Lawrence out there, but you're really not trying to evaluate him at all. You know what I mean? So that's hilarious.
But and it's one thing to play a guy in joint practice or play a guy on Sunday and be like, God damn, dude, until next year. Every day he walks off the fucking field and he's like, I'll see him again in the morning. So that's got to be tough. And Abdul Carter seems to be, I mean, I've seen a couple clips of the guy. They're just clips. They're just training camp clips.
Oh, we got clips.
But the ankle flexion. Nolan sent me a screen grab, and he knows how I am about ankle flexion.
Look at that. Who posted that first? I think who posted that first? Does anybody know who posted that first? This is a screen grab from Twitter, and one of the either one of the YouTubers, was it somebody from Empire Sports Media? Was it like Anthony Rivardo or something like that? Or maybe it was one of the beat writers that screenshotted this. Look at his freaking ankles, guys. Look at this. What? This looks like Mr. Fantastic or something. What is that? Like, it almost looks like it's not real. Like, it almost looks like I'm looking at an illusion that it's not actually his foot. This is nuts. Wait, is it not actually his foot? Because this guy's leg is coming down. I don't know, man. Oh, wait, we're looking at this, though. This right here. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. Oh, my gosh. Holy moly. Bullied him to toss him out. Abdul Carter. Yeah, I know. I seen that. But my God, look at this. Ugh. That's nuts, man. Holy moly.
Nolan sent me a screen grab of this guy's fucking ankle. It looks like it's broken.
Look at this. Look at this. If I tried to do that, I wouldn't be able to get back up. And I am older than him, but still.
Guy's fucking ankle, it looks like it's broken. Okay? If you'd have showed me that, if my ankle did that, I'd be in a fucking boot. I'd be in an air cast, dude. They'd be giving me morphine and holding my hand and putting me on a stretcher. The guy's ankle turned sideways.
His shin was parallel to the ground, and his heel spikes were dug in. It didn't look real.
It's nuts.
Which for people watching is, in my opinion, one of the biggest, if not the biggest predictor of pass rusher success. As a pass rusher, I watch these guys, and I think Thibodeau gets way too much hate, dude. Way too much hate for his production. Now, I'm not saying that he's all world, but he can be a good piece on this front.
I think so.
And if you're talking about Brian Burns, Tibb, Carter, Lawrence, that's a tough group to deal with. And I would imagine that Thibodeau, who has been reported to have he's looking bigger, right? Also, something interesting about what he's doing this offseason, I saw he was training as like a wrestler.
Yeah.
Like he was training on like shooting and takedowns, which honestly, he said he missed a lot of sacks. I know what that's like. Not a bad idea, dude. So at the very least, he's being intentional about the way he's going about his business. And if he has gained weight, that might be in preparation to be the guy on third down that kicks inside to accommodate this fucking phenom.
I was thinking about that as well. You know how a lot of people are talking about, when we have this package with Kayvon, Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns, a lot of people keep saying, put Abdul Carter at the inside linebacker position, let him run through the A gap and have Kayvon and Brian Burns on the edges. Yeah, that makes sense, and that's something that they're definitely going to do. But I was also thinking about what if they switch it up sometimes? Listen, put Kayvon on the inside. He's big enough. The guy can. I think he's legitimately probably now. How much was he coming out of college? Like 255 or something like that? He's got to be 260, 265 now. So that's like prototypical defensive end. They can kick inside sometimes in a NASCAR package and work on the inside. He's strong enough, big enough. He is our designated strong side outside linebacker. Like, he's going to be the guy stopping the run, helping stop and run. He's kind of that, just like what Chris Long was saying earlier, where it's like Kayvon Thibodeau is not all world. He's not all pro, but he's a cog in this defense. He's a cog on the defensive line. He has a role. And I would say his role is being one of those edge setting. He's not the best edge setter, but he's one of the best ones we got right now as far as being a strong sort of anchor on the edge to help stop the run. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is good at that. And he can get to the quarterback too. And yeah, he's had problems missing out on good sacks, but he's had that year in 2023 where he had 11.5 sacks. He's had success as a pass rusher in the NFL. So I think him having Abdul Carter just makes this even better.
Carter, who I've seen go inside, he was a floater in practice, no pads, inside swim in a guard, sunk a rip, then spun back outside, and the guard didn't know what the fuck was going on, dude. No, it's no pads. It's training camp. He's probably going against God knows who. But this kid looks special. Special alert, Abdul Carter. Just get ready, dude. Just get ready to see this front. Now, I don't know what's going to happen outside the front. I like Micah McFadden. I like Okereke.
We have somebody in the media, somebody that used to play football, somebody on a podcast, a football podcast, that knows who Micah McFadden is. That's right. He is getting closer and closer to being a household name. Come on. It's Micah McFadden, and now that's crazy that people are getting to know his name. But seriously, because I couldn't name you who the freaking linebackers for the Raiders are. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't name you those guys. I couldn't name you the linebackers for Miami right now. I couldn't name you them. Like, Micah McFadden is starting to get known now. I like that. This is not the first time where I hear on a mainstream football podcast, Micah McFadden's name. Gotta love it.
I like Holland. I like Newbin, who had a really good rookie year, had an ankle injury. The corner spot, not as, with Banks and Flock competing for spot 2, like there will be holes.
Yep.
But Adebo gives him a veteran starter at one spot. Drew Phillips good in the slot.
He really knows a lot about
this. Has got a chance to be kind of a sexy defense, man.
No doubt.
A defense you want to see play.
The New York Giants. I had them in my top 10 defenses, by the way. Got a little bit of heat for that.
Hi, Mina. We love you, Mina. Don't feel ashamed for saying that. It's completely acceptable. We got a team that has Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Bobby Okereke, Micah McFadden, our glorious king, Paulson Adebo, Javon Holland, the list goes on and on. We've got a great rotation on our defensive line and front seven. Like, don't feel bad that you named them a top 10 defense. It's them that should feel bad that they don't name the Giants a top 10 defense. That's just pure hating. It's just pure hating at that point. Shout out to Mina Kimes, man. She knows ball. She really does know ball, though. If you watch her talk football, she knows ball.
So they're different from students you just talked about.
That's right, Jack. Micah McFadden, OG Believers Club.
Of course, a bit of a mystery because we don't know how long Russell Wilson is going to be the starting quarterback. So
How long is this?
I think that's kind of the most important lens through which to talk about this offense is can Russ be good enough in it to fend off Jackson Dart?
15 minutes?
Or are we going to see Jackson Dart super early? So to remind folks who he's working with, the rookie sensation, Malik Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, Zach Pascal, Theo Johnson, and Daniel Bellinger at tight end, Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, pretty similar to last year. I think that the offensive line
Cam Scatterbo
is going to be Andrew Thomas, John Yornian, Schmitz Jr., then maybe Evan Neal or Greg Van Roten. I think they've been talking about Evan Neal playing guard, Illuminor.
Yeah, Evan Neal's on his last leg. Once you get bumped down from tackling a guard, then you're not a shoe-in on this line specifically. Listen, I love Grant Van Roten. I played with him. He's a great guy. He's an older vet. I think they prefer Evan Neal with his body style.
They want Evan. They are pleading.
But yeah,
they're pleading for Evan Neal to win the job, but he's just not.
This is the same offensive line that they're returning, however, that basically exposed Daniel Jones, which I think they're in a weird macro sense happy about, is that they got him off the books. Obviously, we would want him to succeed long term, but now Russell Wilson is playing behind that same, like they didn't do anything, and this is a 7.5% sack percentage, which is like 20 something, and it's the same offensive line. I think there's that clip going around.
By the way, everybody talking about DJ in the chat. That's the Ravens second stringers, right? It is the Ravens second stringers, right? And they have 9 points scored. All right.
Obviously OTAs, running around in underwear, where Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's the other pass rusher?
Brian Burns. Yeah.
Brian Burns get to the quarter, get Russell Wilson all at the same time. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. That's an incredible jet pass package. But that's the offensive line that they're trotting out there to protect Russell Wilson, who, by the way, is no longer a mobile escape artist like he was for all those years. And so, I'm sorry I'm interrupting. Have you seen their first 9 games?
Yeah, it's rough. Not a lot of wins there.
Brother,
it's crazy.
Brother, have you seen our entire schedule? Golly. Listen, I know. Listen, I like this back and forth. This guy seems pretty cool. He played in the NFL. I don't know who that is. I'm kind of upset that I don't know who that is. Who's Lenny? Who is that? Is he Lenny? Who is that? Who's the guest there? I don't know who the guest is. It's brutal. It's brutal. You got a couple of would-be easy games there, but as you guys saw, that Burgess goober, content creator from the Pittsburgh Steelers, said the Giants weren't going to win a game this season. That's how bad the schedule is. So that's Marshall Newhouse? Jack, that's Marshall Newhouse? No way! The great number 70, Marshall Newhouse? Is that really? Giants legend? No way. Is that Marshall Newhouse? I'm surprised he hasn't said that he played. He was the reason why. It's in the description. Oh, I just skimmed through it. Oh, that looks just like him. Yeah. I just hold on. It's in. Oh wow! I'm out here looking for Lenny. I'm out here looking for Lenny. This is Lenny. Okay, that's Marshall Newhouse. You know what's funny? I'm surprised. I even though I was talking nicely about Marshall Newhouse, I'm surprised because he was just talking about how the Giants are infamous for having bad offensive lines. He was literally just talking about that. Brother, you were one of the reasons why the Giants had a terrible offensive line. The Giants tried to fill in that right tackle spot, which we finally got an answer for with Jermaine Illuminor, with you, and you were terrible. And then we went to Mike Remmers, and he was even worse. Oh my goodness. That's Marshall Newhouse. That's Giants legend Marshall Newhouse. You know how many times he got him and Eric Flowers were the nastiest combo of all time. Oh man.
But like in a vacuum, I think the group of receivers you could actually see Russell Wilson pairing decently with. So Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh last year, second in QBR on throws league-wide, over 20 yards. 25th on throws under 20 yards. That is not a sustainable formula for success in the NFL, but it speaks to what he does well at this point in his career, which he throws a beautiful deep ball. And Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, those are players who get open. Maybe Jalen Hyatt if he, So the problem is just I don't think he's going to have time to do it consistently, and I think the sack rate is going to be too high. There's just going to be too many three, and it's just going to be too inefficient.
Tyrone Tracy checkdowns.
Yeah, Tyrone Tracy is going to, and Cam
Tyrone Tracy.
I like him too. I like him too. He's going to be in protection a lot, or they're going to jet him out, and he's going to catch a lot of balls in the flat, I imagine.
But then,
I think they're going to have more time this year than other years. They're going to have more time to throw. This is the best offensive line they've compiled in a long time. I can't remember a better looking offensive line since I've been making videos here on YouTube. I cannot remember a better offensive line that we have on paper, of course. And you're one of the reasons, Marshall Newhouse. My God, I couldn't stand watching you out there. Number 70, Marshall Newhouse getting cooked everywhere.
Brings us to the next question, which is like, do you feel comfortable putting Jackson Dart behind this?
Well, there you go. I mean, that's just the progression of. We gave Washington credit for being proactive.
He wasn't 70.
This is on the other end.
He wasn't 70.
Stand pat.
Who was he? Like
Something
73?
that was demonstrably not 74? A good product on the offensive line production side. And ultimately, there are not that many quarterbacks in the history of the NFL that can overcome like an offensive line. I speak from having played on 8 different teams. A lot of great.
Say including the Giants. Say including the Giants.
Offensive lines, and when we weren't clicking, the offense didn't go. And when we were clicking on all cylinders, I was part of an offense that set the record in touchdowns and passing yards. And so,
he's gonna mention that. He's gonna mention that, but not mention his time with the Giants. You played with us from 2015 to 2016. 2015, we had a decent offense, right? But the offensive line was terrible. 2016, we went to the playoffs. The offensive line was still terrible. We're not going to mention the time with the Giants, huh? We're just not going to mention that. That upsets me. There's nothing Giants related in the back of his freaking wall.
Unit has to step up. But if you don't know if Evan Neal, this behemoth of a
73.
guy, can lock down the guard position, which he was originally not drafted to be. He's drafted to be a tackle. And your franchise tackle is the only part that's really just like solidified. And you've got an aging quarterback and a rookie behind him. And wink, wink, Jameis sitting there too. Is Jameis still there? No.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
He just got here, brother.
This is not a good recipe. I think Malik Neighbors will have something to say about that for sure. I'm excited to see him kind of take the next step. And I like the Darius Slayton sign. I think he has a lot of go left in him.
Good take.
But this unit has some issues. This unit.
It's not. I think.
I like Kafka.
I don't think it's like a. You can see a world in which Thomas is back. He's amazing. Illuminor is competent. They drafted Marshall.
Talk about Illuminor. I want to hear Marshall Newhouse talk about the actual, the right tackle we've been dying for since we were kids. That's how much Jermaine Illuminor isn't even all that good. That's how you know how bad the right tackle spot was. He was part of it.
Jimbo, who's I think going to be like a swing tackle for them, so there's a little bit of depth there. Maybe Schmitz Jr. takes a step. I think John Runyon was playing hurt last year. So my feeling is if the offensive line can just be like in that 15 to 25 range, there's enough there with the pass catchers. You got a creative play caller. It's not like, David Carr, right?
She said.
My feeling is if the offensive line can just be like.
Okay, offensive line. They got to be better than that, though, Mina. They got to be better than 25. I would say 15 to 20. They can't be 25th because the Giants kind of hovered around 25 to 32 for years now, and we're not able to sustain offenses. They got to be better.
In that 15 to 25 range,
And Proudly Brownie says, completely different vibe from last year out of you. I appreciate that. I said that in my last stream. I said proudly. Production by Brownie. I'll just call you Brownie. I'm trying to be who I actually am. I've been trying too much to be professional. But I'm a content creator, and a part of that is being unique, and I'm just going to be who I am. I'm done being like, listen, guys, today we are going to report on the New York Giants and how they're looking in the offseason, and we're going to give our season predictions. I don't want to be that anymore, man. I'm trying to be laid back. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be hip, like with the kids, Hello, fellow kids.
There's enough there with the pass catchers. You got a creative play caller. It's not like, David Carr, right? For when Jackson Dart plays. But, you don't want him playing behind this offensive line against some of the better pass rushers in the NFL. I just feel like
context matters. Week 1, Washington. Week 2, Dallas. Week 3, Kansas City. Week 4, LA Chargers. Then Philadelphia. Then Denver. Philadelphia again. And then San Francisco.
No, Jaden, I was trying to be family friendly. I was trying to be like your replacement for ESPN back then. Like, hello everybody. You know, I out here making reports, and here's the practice report. And like, I'm done doing that. I'm done. I need to spread my wings like a butterfly.
Cisco. That's pretty brutal out of the gate.
It is brutal.
So the optimistic case, I keep saying case, to turn this conversation around, let's turn that frown upside down, Giants fans. Defense. So I got into this a bit on defensive pod. If you're an offensive core, put yourself in the brain of Cliff Kingsbury or whoever you're up against this group week 1. The first person you're thinking about is Dexter Lawrence, who is arguably the best defensive tackle in football. You could make a case for him being the best defensive player in football, to be honest. Dexter Lawrence last year was the most double-team player in the NFL. He was double-teamed 75% of the time, according to True Media.
75% of the time. That means like over 7 out of 10 plays. Every 10 plays, out of 7 times out of every 10 plays, this man was double teamed and still had the pressure rate that he had and still had 9.5 sacks through like 6 games. That's nuts. Dexter Lawrence is him, bro.
So you're thinking, all right, we got to allocate resources to stopping Dexter Lawrence.
Mina really cooking.
Oh,
Mina's
no. They also have Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. They added Chauncey Golston, too. I missed.
Mention our glorious king, Micah McFadden. Mention him, Mina. Mention him, please.
That was it interesting from the Cowboys. I didn't catch that. I got like some blowback for saying this could be a top 10 defense, but Marshall, that is a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
You're the offensive lineman. Like, what would be in your head going into a game against this defensive front?
Stay at 3rd down. That's it.
What are they going to do on 3rd down? The packages. Oh my.
That's what I'm saying is that like those guys are all amazing. All 4 of them on the field at the same time is hellish. But we're staying at a 3rd down, or we're staying at a 3rd and long. Excuse me. Dexter Lawrence makes that difficult on the early downs.
He
just doesn't move. You hit him and you just kind of, you're like, oh, okay. But we'll see. Abdul Carter, you know, he likes to jet upfield or kind of dip. He has a lot of good bend. So I think he and Brian Burns give tackles problems on, you know, like man blocks. They kind of do that J.J. Watt thing where they take a gap and they'll take a chance sometimes. And so you get some splash TFLs early, and that gets people behind the chains. That's definitely possible. But you've got to run at this defensive front. You've got to stay ahead of the chains. You know, their run defense wasn't great. And so ultimately they're also looking to get you in the 3rd down because, they're going to eat you alive. But this is, you know, you go into the Giants games thinking, all right, we're going to have to control the ball early downs, a lot of screens, a lot of quick passes, kind of see where they're at, see where they line up. Because, I mean, I imagine they're going to have Thibodeau's going to be all over the place. I mean, they can end up doing the spaghetti on a plate thing if they wanted to.
Yep.
But I love pass rushes because they can close games out, but you got to get to that situation first.
Yeah.
You've got to get there first. And I have questions about that, their run defense allowing them to be in those positions.
Yeah, that's where you start thinking about who's going to be on the field when and you know, in terms of run defense, like Abdul Carter is a little undersized. Do you want Kayvon Thibodeau? Like, I know, yes, maybe he hasn't lived up to where he was drafted, but I still think he's a pretty complete player. He's actually
very dynamic,
solid against the run.
That he's going to be Kayvon fills a role for us. That's why I say, like, Kayvon doesn't need to be great. He just needs to be a cog in the machine. And his role is more of a strong side, you know, edge rusher, where he's going to be more stronger against the run than an Abdul Carter or even a Brian Burns. Brian Burns is small, like thinner, but he still holds his own against the run a lot better than I thought he would when I watched him on film.
And so I actually wonder if that's going to get him on the field a little bit more than Carter year 1, maybe. I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing, or maybe you play Carter off the ball a bit in certain packages. But yeah, you got to be able to run the ball on this team. Shane Bowen, their defensive coordinator, likes to use light boxes. They were not horrible against the run last year, but, you know, without Dexter Lawrence,
they were horrible.
Fell off. But you just can't be in 3rd line.
Mina knows ball, bro. Like, these are type of things that, like, people who aren't Giants fans just don't know about. Like, Mina just knows ball. She knows Shane Bowen's scheme. with light boxes and soft zones, and Mina knows what she's talking about, bro.
Yeah, sorry.
5.6 yards per play. I'm signing up for that all day if I'm an offense against this defense.
The pass defense is, I think, improved. They brought in 2 vets, Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo. Because I think, like you said, they're going to get a lot of quick game. So it's just going to be a lot of tackling, limiting yards after the catch is going to be paramount for them to avoid or to improve upon last year. But I feel pretty damn good about this unit. I do. I think they're really,
I understand the optimism. I understand it. And, you like to think that coaches' sensibilities kind of trickle down to the players. Well, Brian Daboll is a desperate man. So maybe they play desperately with that, hair and fire kind of energy because they need it. You imagine, even if they're playing decently well, but they're 1-6, it's like this could go poorly really fast for them. And so
I agree.
Where does the team go from a morale standpoint, from an output standpoint? And that's assuming on the other side things aren't also falling apart. So I get the optimism from the pass rush explosion ability, but they got to get in those situations.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing is like, right, if the offense is bad, and the defense is going to have to play the run a bit more. Like they're not going to have those like we were talking about the optimistic case or the hope for the Cowboys, which is a worse run defense, honestly, is like, well, they may not have to, maybe the offense can put up some points and they don't actually have to stop the run to that. I think that could be an issue for New York for sure.
Yeah.
Because I do think this offense is going to struggle.
3 guesses is enough. Now you just tell me because I don't get any points if I name all the teams.
Dominic Foxworth.
I chose this team entirely based on the idea that the defensive line can just completely take over games.
Oh, wait, hold
ruin
on.
The lives of quarterbacks.
Top 10. So where does she start with? 10, 9, 9. Philadelphia Eagles at 9. Ooh. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait, how many freaking teams does she have on here? It says top 10 defenses. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Bro, these are 13 teams. I'm confused. Hold on, I gotta see where she actually ranks this. There's 13 teams here on the top 10 list. I don't know what to tell you. And then it says teams that didn't make the cut. So there's no honorable mentions here because it says teams that just missed the cut. All right.
Don't say it.
The New York Giants.
Yeah. So I was thinking I have to come with a curveball, and I thought that was too absurd. I cannot sell this because I did the same thing. I was like, add Abdul Carter, like they're just gonna give hell to everybody. But I was like, but a top 10 defense, I guess it's possible. But yeah, I consider it.
I guess it's possible. What? Who? Dominic? That's Dominic Foxworth, right? Didn't he like play in the NFL? He was with the Eagles, or he's an Eagles fan or something like that. Bro, are we serious, bro? Are we serious? I guess they're a top 10.
They also added some players in the back end that I think could stabilize things. Javon Holland at safety, Paulson Adebo, Drew Phillips is really good. I really like the combination of Javon Holland and Tyler Nubin together because I think you can have Nubin playing closer to the box where he's better, personally. But set that aside. This is all about the front. Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Thibodeau.
It's a nightmare.
That is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And they're deep. I like the D tackles they have. They drafted Darius Alexander as well. You bring in Chauncey Golston. I just every year there's a defense where the pass rush just goes nuclear, and I feel like why not the Giants?
I'm telling you right now. I feel bad. I don't feel bad. Teams that have bad offensive lines this year that go against the Giants are going to have the worst day they've ever experienced. Because even their rotation, their depth that they have on the line is absolutely nuts. Offensive lines are going to go to sleep the night before the game, shivering in their beds. And then after the game, after they got their asses handed to them, they're still going to be shivering in their beds from the experience that they had to endure for those 60 minutes. This is going to be so fun to watch the defensive line. It's hard for me to say I feel bad for any offensive line, but you kind of do. They are gonna get their asses handed to them. That's why I feel like the Giants can win more games than we're giving them credit for. And you guys know I'm never someone that's really going to throw wins at the Giants. I really think we're gonna get away with some wins because we're just gonna be an absolute menace to some offensive lines, and that's gonna disrupt quarterback play and cause turnovers and cause sacks and kill drives. And that's why I think the Giants have a real shot of being fun to watch and exciting this year. A big part of that is the defensive line. So if any offensive line that goes up against the Giants, even Jason, we just saw in the Chris Long video, even Jason Kelsey said it. Dexter Lawrence is an absolute monster. Okay? He makes Pro Bowl players look like rag dolls. So come on, man. Come on.
Why am I crazy to have them at 10?
I think maybe it's just because they're the Giants, but
they were awful last year, by the way. We can start there, but Dexter Lawrence didn't play.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And I mean,
hold on, Mina. Dexter Lawrence, I believe it was until the end of November that he left, that he got put on IR. So only about a month and a half of play without him. He played the majority of the season. He had 9.5 sacks up until then. 9.5 sacks through 6 games. The Giants were on pace to break the 1984 single season sack record, which is at 74? They were on pace to break it. They were good last season. The problem was the freaking offense couldn't score points. So in turn, it was really affecting the defense. They weren't able to hold on. They had bad field position constantly, and they were constantly getting scored on from 30 yards in their own end zone. They weren't able to keep up with the terrible offense. They were constantly asked to win games, and they just couldn't do it towards the end of the game. They would break off, especially against the run.
Feel like maybe it points out how I in the past would have overvalued defensive fronts and would believe that if your front can be dominant, then everything else around you can not be. I think you have to still be stable. And which, to your point, maybe Holland will bring some stability to it. Maybe Go Terps, my man Banks will become slightly better at corner.
They believe in him. They think he's going to bounce back.
I hope so. I believe in him too. But
I haven't heard a soul.
It's not ridiculous, but these are all great pass rushers.
They're so. First of all, I think Dexter Lawrence has a case to be
Dexter Lawrence
best defensive player in football. He's up there.
Yes.
Obviously, he's probably gets double
teamed.
Say
it, Mina.
Right? He's double team.
Say it, Mina.
I'm sure.
Oh my God! So you're double teaming Dexter Lawrence, and you have to deal with Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Right? This is terrible. It's terrifying. All right. It's very simplistic.